This is Lisa from Mobile Tech Review, and today we're going to look at the Lenovo Tab A10. Call it a mid-range tablet from Lenovo. Yes, they also have the Yoga Android tablet. This guy here runs Android too, and that's the one for you more, shall we say, designer adventurous types with a little flip-out bottom. This one is a pretty normal-looking Android tablet. Soft touch back right here, normal 10-inch kind of design, and $249. We're going to look at it now. So this is the Lenovo A10. So far, Lenovo really avoids the ultra high end. So for those of you who are shopping for those $500 plus tablets with all the greatest bells and whistles, well, this is not going to be the one for you. But for a lot of, shall we say, everyday average folks out there who are looking for a 10-inch tablet, they kind of like the bigger size better, nice for watching video, that sort of thing, reading web pages, and you don't want to spend a whole lot of money, but you want a brand you've heard of and you can kind of trust. That's who this is for. At $249, it's not a horrifyingly expensive purchase, and everything works, and it's put together nicely. Again, 10.1-inch display. It is IPS, good times for that, and it's pretty sharp and pretty bright. Decent colors on it. 1280 by 800, that's your standard basic 10-inch tablet resolution. Nothing super high DPI going on here. 0.4 inches, so not quite as thin as the Galaxy Tab 4 10.1 that we just reviewed, which is 0.31 inches. But one thing that is nice about it is it's kind of like the ThinkPad tablets that we've looked at before. It has a soft touch finish, and my God, does this thing feel strong and rugged. There's like no flex anywhere. It feels kind of classy and nice, so it doesn't feel like your budget mid-range product, whatever you want to call it. Obviously, this is not going to be as styling as the Lenovo Android Yoga tablet that has that barrel on the bottom that holds an extra large battery and acts as a stand. This is your more normal looking 10-inch tablet. Uninspired, maybe, but pleasant looking, sure enough it is. Over here you notice there's a door. That's where the microSD card slot is, and if it had 3G or 4G, there is a little slot where that could go. This does not have that feature so far. It's not listed on Lenovo's US website as an option. That's your microSD card slot. It's compatible with SD, XC high-speed, high-capacity cards. The usual micro USB 2.0 port here, your combo mic headphone, stereo jack 3.5mm, volume controls on the side. On this edge here, that's the power button, real teeny, kind of hard to see. 5 megapixel camera is over there. Obviously there is no flash on that. And nothing on the bottom edge, just kind of a clean look. And nothing on this side either. They call this midnight blue, by the way. You can see it's kind of an inky, indigo-y blue. Not bad looking at all color-wise. Now on the front here, what's cool are the stereo speakers. This has Dolby Audio with some special Dolby software, which we'll demo for you. It also reflects light really well. You can see that. It's glossy. Stereo speakers, front-facing. Wow. Like, is that such a hard idea? It must be, because not too many tablets ever have that. Once in a while we see it, like with the Samsung tablet, and then it goes away. Sigh. So this one is going to have the audio coming at you. The tablet does support USB host. I have a USB on-the-go dongle adapter. This one happens to be a Samsung brand. Any brand will work, and we have a USB flash drive here. Plug that in. So Android has drivers for flash drives, hard drives, if the tablet can provide enough power. Most tablets cannot. In this case, this one so far has not provided enough power for our external hard drives that are self-powered. Keyboards, mice, game controllers, those things will work. Not 4G LTE dongles, there's usually no drivers for those. MIDI controllers, you get the idea. So after we stick our flash drive in, this file browser automatically pops up, which is pretty darn handy. We can choose internal storage or external storage, which is our flash drive. And this shows us everything that is on the flash drive, so that works out just fine. So yes, we do have USB host here for those of you who want to use external flash drives, game controllers, you name it, that sort of stuff. Up front above the display, 2 megapixel selfie video chat camera. I think a lot of people probably use this for video chat. Works with Google Chat, Skype, all that sort of thing. And Android 4.4.2 KitKat. Now, Lenovo's website's actually wrong. Right now they say 4.2, and this is actually running 4.4 KitKat. They have customized it, and it's different from everybody else's customization. You have LG and Samsung kind of neck and neck with a similar kind of UI. You know what the HTC Sense clean look is. And then there's absolutely stock Android. Well, there's this latest thing from Lenovo. So we have a home screen over here. We have their, obviously, shall we say, customized icons. They've been a little bit tweaked there. And if you swipe sideways, you go right to the app drawer. So there's no little button to tap to go to the app drawer. You just swipe sideways and there's all of your apps. And then you go back to the home screen. Wow, that's kind of different. You know, that might actually work for people who are kind of new to the whole thing and they're like, well, where's my apps, right? Everybody's used to swiping. So you're going to swipe and you're going to say, well, there they are. Huh. So I won't say that that's a bad thing, certainly. Now, you can get more home screens. For those of you who are used to Android and having a bunch of home screens and throwing your widgets up there, you just press and hold. And then there's your widgets over here, and you have the option to add more screens. And so, yeah, it's not exactly hobbled, to say the least. Beyond that, they have not touched Android too much. A couple of dialogues that suffer from translation ease here and there, I noticed, which surprisingly, usually Lenovo does a great job with that. Just slightly awkward wording, not exactly what I would call Chinglish. One other thing that they've done, they have the swipe in to bring up multitasking, sorta. More like a launcher. And you can swipe in from either side. And you can also disable this should you happen to not like it or find that you're doing it when you don't mean to. You can swipe in from either side. So here we have shortcuts to video player right there, our photos, our books, and most recently used applications. You can see I've been running some benchmark applications over here. We've got your display settings, which is, we can bring that up again. Standard, multimedia, reading. As your guess, standard is pretty pleasing. Multimedia ups the contrast and the color saturation. Reading kind of dims the screen a bit. Viewing angles are not bad, other than the reflectivity that we have with all glossy touchscreen tablets. Again, it is IPS, so it's fine there. 1280 by 800 isn't going to win any resolution contests, but it's a decent enough IPS display, so it's actually fine for reading. Since this is Android 4.4, we have the multitasking button over here instead of the back button. And obviously it's on-screen buttons. We don't have hardware keys to operate the Android menu system. And if you're swiping down over here, this looks pretty much like very stock Android right there to get to some of your basic settings. And if you swipe down from the left or from the middle, you can see information, you know, notifications, all that usual kind of Android stuff right here. Notice it says endurance. It's always guessing at how much time you have left to actually use this tablet. Now, it doesn't mean actual use time. That 21 hours, that would be nice if that meant 21 hours of you actually rocking away on Real Racing 3, listening to MP3 files and so on. It means combo of screen off time while it's sleeping and screen on time. Lenovo claims 9 hours of usage on a charge, and that's not real super duper impressive there. It's kind of okay. This has a 2-cell, 6340 milliamp per hour lithium-ion battery. Obviously, it's sealed inside like it is with all these tablets. And in our tests, yeah, about 8 hours of actual use, screen on time. And that's with mixed usage, surfing the web, doing some email, social networking, streaming a 45-minute episode of House of Cards on Netflix, that sort of thing. If you're going to be playing, well, Real Racing 3 or The Bard's Tale or something like that, or using it for GPS navigation, that will shorten the battery life. And yes, it does have a GPS inside. It has Wi-Fi 802.11 BGN single band. Lenovo brings their single band disease over to tablets here, just like they do with their lower end laptops. Usually you see dual band. Bluetooth 4.0 as well. No NFC at this price point. NFC isn't exactly taking the world by storm anyway, so I don't think anybody's going to be too bothered by that. Again, this is a Wi-Fi only tablet. 16 gigs of storage inside, 1 gig of RAM. Pretty much standard stuff going on there. You got your microSD card slot for expansion. You can put your multimedia files, your books, those kind of things on there. Not apps though. And for the processor, this is not the high point. No, it's not. It's a MediaTek processor. I've never been enthralled by MediaTek processors so far. They always just seem to lag behind in performance, say with the Snapdragon and with the Tegra processors, but again, it's a $249 tablet. So here we have the MediaTek MT8121. That is a quad-core processor, 1.3 gigahertz with Mali 400 graphics. That's PowerVR 5 generation graphics. It underperforms a bit the Samsung Galaxy Tab 4 10.1, which does cost $100 more, and that's running the quad-core Snapdragon 400. So it's fine in use here. It's not flying along wowie, but it's okay. In terms of synthetic benchmarks, we'll tell you some numbers. And you can see what our Antutu score is right there, 16,842. The numbers are always pretty big there on Antutu. That puts it just a little bit below the Samsung Galaxy Tab 4.0 and significantly under the top tablets, which will cost you like $500, so that's okay. For quadrant, it scored 8,277. Again, slightly under the Tab 4 10.1 and significantly under the top performers, but not too bad. SunSpider, the WebKit JavaScript test, and this is with the WebKit web browser. You get both the WebKit web browser on here and Chrome. Chrome typically performs a little bit slower, so where lower numbers are better, it scored a 1276. The fastest phones and tablets score the 500s, the 600s, sometimes the 400s, and the slower ones score something like up to about 2,000. So the 1276 number isn't too bad at all. For 3D Mark Ice Storm Unlimited, now the graphics chip in this is particularly probably one of the slower components going on here. So 2849 on the Ice Storm Unlimited test. That is almost half of what the Tab 4 10.1 scored, and about 1/4 of what the fastest Android smartphones are scoring with the Snapdragon 800. Again, look at the price point, it's $249. You're not going to get the whiz-bang fastest. It is fast enough to play some games. It will show you how Real Racing 3 plays on that. The graphics don't look as highly rendered and sharp as they would on a higher-end tablet, but it's actually quite playable. This is a fully sanctioned Google device, so you get the Google Play Store, all of the Google applications. You can download whatever you want from Google Play. Also has an FM radio. That's something we don't see as often on tablets. More often we see that on smartphones, so you FM radio fans will be thrilled. Obviously you can stream radio on this and stream video to your heart's content. Netflix, Google Play content. Amazon still doesn't make a Prime client for Android, sadly enough, so that one's not so doable. In terms of third-party bundled software, there's a Dolby app we're going to show you because it's pretty darn fancy and has a nice demo feature on there. You get Kingsoft Office as an office viewer. It's not a office editor or creator. Those are available on Google Play if you want to purchase them. Docs to go. Any number of suites are available, and those typically cost you around $20 or $25. So let's check out that audio. So here's the Dolby app that works in conjunction, obviously, with the front-facing stereo speakers. Pretty fancy stuff here for an audio settings program on Android, and you can choose from different profiles, voice, music, custom, set your own EQ, and then they've got a demo here. This is your on-off for the Dolby effect, and let's check out the demo so you can hear what this sounds like. And in person, you can hear the separation. So there it is, all around you. And if you're wondering where the volume was at, you can see, right, we were just about 50%. So volume is pretty good on this. It can get very, very loud. Does it have amazing bass? No, it doesn't. It is a 10-inch tablet. They just don't have amazing bass, even if they are more expensive. So there it is. And now for video playback, here's one of their demo full HD videos. So not bad sound there, and it's pretty capable. It can handle up to full HD video playback as well. The cameras on this, front and back, the front one's adequate for video chat. It's reasonably light, and there's some noise. The 5 megapixel camera on the rear is not really inspired. This is not a Shutterbug's dream. I don't know how many people buy a 10-inch tablet looking for that sort of thing anyway, though. So to round up our review, let's check out a little gaming, because that's something a lot of people like to do. We're going to check out Real Racing, which is a pretty demanding 3D racing game, and see how it does. And here we are in Real Racing 3. Pretty nice colors here. Notice the graphics aren't exceptionally detailed. And we'll switch our camera views here as we go off-road a little bit. And we do get the rear window rendering here, something we didn't get on the quad-core Snapdragon 400. That's up to the developer, but obviously they thought they could handle it. It's pretty smooth. So it can certainly handle those games. Like I said, you might not get the highest end graphics and all that sort of thing, but it's not bad. Frame rates are decent. The curves usually here will slow down some phones and tablets. since there's so many cars on screen, so it's quite playable. And we were easily switching between the various views without it hanging up at all. So for $249, not bad. So that's the Lenovo A10. It's available now. Again, it's $249 in the US. Priced appropriately overseas, I'm sure. And it is a mid-range tablet with mid-range specs on it. So for those of you who thought the Galaxy Tab 4 10.1 was too expensive, well, this one's $100 less. In some ways, not quite as good as the Tab 4, but in other ways, certainly it's equal. And again, you're saving some money. I'm Lisa from Mobile Tech Review. Be sure to visit our website for the full review, and don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel.